Hi, I am M. Roblin. I'm back talking more about limiting beliefs, and I'm laughing as I press play here, press record, because I'm just realizing how much I'm enjoying this process, how fun I think it is. And I think it's a little maybe counterintuitive that such a big, heavy topic like limiting beliefs could be as fun as it is. But I think there's a few reasons why, and one of them is not just that this came out as such an important theme for me in getting me to where I am. It was I couldn't be here had I not crushed some limiting beliefs and in my own life. And when I'm looking at what's ahead for me, it seems so important to stay aware of some of my derailers. So I think there's that. But it's also been this process of breaking down this topic into bite-sized pieces and then sharing it out. So, I mean, thank you for those of you who have been feeding back through Facebook and Instagram and even WhatsApp, some of you, around not just some of the limiting beliefs that you shattered in the last year, but also how you've done that and what are some of the ways that feel really important as you set more ambitious kind of stretch goals in your own life to hold yourself accountable to reaching those. And so one of the themes that's come up that was not really part of my reflection journey at all, so I need to thank you for that and highlight it, is around the people around you that have been critical to help you see where your limiting beliefs lie. I mean, some of you mentioned coaches. Others mentioned partners. A few of you mentioned manager, and even one person mentioned like a peer at work. But these are people in your, let's call it, what's the saying? You are the average of the 5 people that you spend the most time with. It's like in those people that are around you, are they from a place not of judgment? No, from a place of, I know you and I know what you're trying to accomplish. I know you have the capability to leave the world better than you found it. I believe in you wholeheartedly. And I also understand that you're on a growth journey. And I'm also not you. So I can see spaces where you might have to grow. And I'm here for you. And it's that kind of a role from a place of love and belief to help you uncover some of the blind spots that might get in your way of reaching and stepping into your fullest potential. And that, by the way, the experience we each have of, our feelings and our frustrations and our successes and our joys as well. I mean, they're completely valid just in and of themselves. The reality is our picture is just not complete. While our experience is completely valid, it just isn't complete. And that's why we need those people around us. So I invite you to just reflect on it. I mean, who are those people in your life? Who are those people in your life? And how do you give them the space to play that role, to hold up that mirror for you, to keep you on track to achieving the kind of goals that you've set for yourself? Yeah. I play that role a lot as coach. I'm very committed to connecting people to their biggest, what's it called? The BHAG, right? Like the big, hairy, audacious goals that are so far out into the future, and to get a real hold of those and bring those right close to your heart. And actually, even if we think about the metaphor, like ingest them, right? To embody what that even looks like, and to live from that place as opposed to striving towards it to actually turn things around. I play that role a lot. And I'm thinking too, as I've heard from some of you, I mean, who plays that role in my life? And I realized that pretty much all of the people that are in my, let's call it the 5 people I spend the most time with, are in one way or another playing that role. So I invite you to think about that. Who in your life is playing that role? And how are you honoring, encouraging, and deepening that relationship to let them know that you yearn for it, that you love it when they give you that feedback, that you grow and that you have grown and that you'll continue to grow when you are able to uncover your blind spots. So to actually think about moments where they've helped you get closer to reaching your goals and to thank them for that. Um, and to take responsibility, some radical responsibility where maybe you've gotten defensive in the past when actually they were coming from a place of love and support for you. And yeah, there's so much more to say on that. Defensiveness is a natural response, and I actually want to, I think in the next video, really talk about not our relationship with anything external, but to understand how to even decipher what is and is not a limiting belief within ourselves on some of these confusing life moments, or important life moments, be framed another way. That's what I'm deeply thinking about, and I want to share more about that. But let's just stick with this external piece for a moment longer, because I think outside of the people you spend the most time with, which again, I invite you to think about who and what the relationships are like there, not just what you're open to, but also how are you doing that for them? What's working and what isn't, and what opportunities do you have from a place of love to step more into that, to be more curious about what these people that you spend the most time with, what's important to them, what goals they have, and to believe in them and see that they're on a growth journey and help them in their way to reach their goals. So what's the opportunity to step into that as well? But I'm also thinking, if you zoom out a little bit, is this, let's call it the personal board of directors. This is a concept I have been very passionate about for more than 10 years in the work I do around women's leadership development, and something that I leverage a lot when I look at my year-on-year growth is the ability to connect with and be held accountable to and driven by what I would call my personal board of directors. So you think about a company, right? No company would put together a board that either they don't have a board, right? But they have a board, and then you're not going to put together a board that has people that are all exactly the same. I mean, you're going to need you're going to need somebody that has deep market experience. You're going to need somebody that has deep industry experience. You're going to need somebody that has finance experience. You're going to need somebody that has HR. You're going to need somebody with governance. You're going to need somebody with leadership. I mean, you need a real vast group of people to come together to make important decisions and also hold that CEO accountable. And it's like, why don't we do that in our lives? Right? Like, why don't we have a group of people that think differently, that see things differently, that are all in one way or another, contributing to this kind of picture that you're trying to create for yourself, and like they're plugged into something that has to do with that. Why not create that for yourself? And you don't have to do, formal board meetings all together, although you can, and I've tried that, and it's wildly fun. But just to have different people that bring different energy and experience and perspective to some of your goals and targets. And in addition to having that personal board in place, I also have what I would call my distant stars. My distant stars being people that are like out there in the galaxy. They're like bright lights in my life, role models, people I really, really look up to and respect. And to also keep them keep them in my heart, like they're like to see them in the sky, but more importantly, to connect with them on key turning points or challenging moments. Sometimes to listen, sometimes to seek input, some combination of all of those things. But do you have those people set up in your life? Why or why not? And who's missing? And what opportunity does that give you right now to create a connection, whether it's to a distant star, to start thinking about putting together your personal board of directors? Who would be on there, and what roles, when you think about that, are totally vacant that you don't even know where to start on how to fill them? Start creating that. Yeah, lots to think about from this session. And thank you, completely inspired from your input. So let's keep it going. What's coming out? What questions do you have? And let's talk more tomorrow about this. Let's call it making sense of the internal dialogue. Yeah, let's do that.